This band? I like this band. I wrote it down so I don't forget who they are. Oh, I remember. Fucking Slayer! We're back with another glorious episode of Metal Horror Madness with your host, Metal Horror Madman, yours truly, the hottest looking metalhead in the scene. It is what it is. I don't know what to do. We're here to talk about death metal today. We're here to talk about death metal, my five top death metal albums. It's the Halloween season. Why not start with death metal, a genre that's near and dear to my heart? I started in metal with your Ozzies and Kisses and Alice Coopers, and I started with your Black Sabbaths and your Megadeths and Slayers and all that fun stuff that I love, right? Near and dear to my precious little heart. But I got into death metal when I was about 16, 17, 1994. None of the Above records, it was called, on Long Island, Strong Island, New York, where I grew up. It was a record store, long gone. Half, this is crazy for the scene. If you were around in that scene, these scenes didn't get along. It was half death metal, and it was half hardcore punk. One guy was the hardcore punk guy. The other guy, rest in peace, I forget his name. I think he had a band called Steel Prophet, a doom band, and they had a store together. And back then, those scenes didn't really get along. It's not like today where you see 200 Stab Wounds or a Bog and they're merging the hardcore and the death metal, which I love. I was part of both those scenes. I was one of those guys that could hang with both scenes at the time, which was not always a thing. I had my hardcore friends, I had my death metal friends, I had my glam friends. I was always a man of the people. That's just what I was. That's just what I do. So I was out there, and I went into this store with my buddies. We were like, look at this store. Back then, CDs were $29.95, $22.95 at Sam Goody. This place did the unheard of. They had used CDs, and they were like $15 or 3 for 30 or 3 for 20. I don't know, but it was like a deal of a century back then. And I picked up Possessed, Beyond the Gates, and that changed my life. That got me into the more extreme stuff. I grabbed a Benediction. I grabbed a few things to start back then. But I'm not saying those are in my top 5, but my top 5, which can change. Mine's going to be different than yours. Number 5, Dead by Dawn, Dead by Dawn, Dead by Dawn. You know, Deicide, self-titled. I love that album. I need a drink. I'm a little parched. I need a blue drink. Blue drinks, blue balls, the sky is blue, the ocean's blue. A couple of my albums in the top 5 are blue. Deicide, self-titled. Before that, it was Amen. That they had that the demo tapes of that album, which is great if you could find it on Roadrunner, Road Race, or whatever label it was called that at that time. Deicide, self-titled, is what death metal is all about. Pure aggressive. It's about, zombies, Evil Dead, all the sick stuff. Glenn back then. My first death metal concert, a blue album, Once Upon a Cross. Blue, I like blue. I don't know. I like blue. Deal with it. I like blue, and I like Once Upon a Cross. My first Deicide concert. That was the first Deicide. That was the first death metal concert is what I'm trying to say. Deicide at the Roxy Music Hall. 17. It was crazy. Glenn was all jacked up at the time. The two brothers were all jacked up. The blonde guys. They were looking to fight everybody. It was psychotic. That was a psychotic show to be there in 94, man. 17-year-old Madman. I saw that album. I bought that album. It changed my life. Top 10 for me, but top 5 Deicide, self-titled. You don't know that album. Go outside and kick yourself in the nuts 12 or 16, or maybe 666 times. That's a must-own album. Number 4, we're going to go across the pond. Chip, chip, cheerio. Harry Potter, is that you? Ye intruders beware. You know what I'm talking about. Fish and chips, bangers and mash. This album's all banger, no mash. Cancer to the gory end. What an album cover. Go look at that album cover. That is a sick cover. I've seen people with that tattoo. That's pretty sick. Sick album. Beautiful album, majestic album, heavy, aggressive, technical. That album changed the way I looked at death metal for quite a few years, what they accomplished on that thing, Raw. It's a beautiful album. I have it on vinyl. I have it on CD. I have it on cassette. I don't have it on A-track, B-track, or C-track. Your mom might have it. I'll ask her later when we hang up by the garbage cans. But Cancer to the... They got a new album out, too, that slaps pretty hard. And Cancer's one of those bands. Every album they have is a banger. No mash there at all. You got to go check that album out to the gory end. It'll change your life. It's a life-changing... It's a lesson in violence. Shout out to Gary Holt and Exodus. It's a lesson in violence to the gory end. What a great album title, too. That's how you got to live life to the gory end. I hear a lot of people, they piss me off. I decided to get old. I got to wear the button-up shirt now. I drink the black coffee. I drink the black coffee. Put some pumpkin in that coffee. Throw some cream in that coffee. Your wife's like, when I give him some cream, put some cream in the coffee. Relax yourself. Act like a kid still. One of my good buddies, Garth, he's out there. Shout out to Garth. He sent me his Halloween Michael Myers. That guy doesn't age. That guy's in his mid-50s knocking heads back in the pit. I love that son of a bitch. We met at some shows. It's amazing when you start as a follower and then people you consider a friend, because that's a madman. I'm a man of the people. I'm a man of the people. I'm spreading metal like an STD. It's everywhere from me. Great guy. My point is, you don't have to grow up. You don't have to get old. You're still in the scene. You're always part of that scene. Don't let anyone tell you different. I can't stand these guys that get old and they're like, I can't stand anymore at the show. I got to sit. I can't listen to heavy music, only glam now. I love glam, but I love death metal. I love black. I love all the current bands. I got a Brat tattoo on my arm. Come on, what are we doing here? I got a Lich King tattoo on here. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying like what you like. To the gory end, it's just so gorgeous. And I got blue. See my Iron Maiden blue? It goes in my blue bowl sometimes when I miss you significant other. Entombed Left Hand Path. That is a magical album. I don't know if they had the rights to Phantasm. They just put Phantasm on there. The music from... You like Phantasm? That's a top 10 horror movie for me. Reggie and his ice cream truck. Those silver balls. Silver balls. Silver balls. Soon it will be Halloween. What a movie. It's got boobs in that movie. It's got ice cream trucks. Reggie plays that acoustic guitar song. I really enjoy that song. Great movie. Love Phantasm. Love the whole franchise. But part one blows all the other ones away. If they could have kept that level of filmmaking, that thing would be up there with anything. That is a great movie. I got the Tall Man figure over there from the 90s. Spencer's Gifts, which turned into a dildo factory now. But I know Spencer's Gifts before Spirit Halloween. Before Spirit Halloween, Spencer's was your premier place in horror. There's stuff up here from Spencer's. There's stuff back there from Spencer's back in the day, 90s. Oh, I used to love it back in the day. There was no Spirit, so you'd go to Spencer's. I think in that movie, That's My Boy, Adam Sandler says, tell Mrs. Spencer thanks for the laughs or some shit. I don't know what I'm talking about. Entombed Left Hand Path. It's a lesson in death metal. I love Entombed all around. Some bands you don't like when they change their sound. I was a Roth Van Halen guy. I never got into the Hagar. No disrespect. Hagar's a great singer. But I like aggressive. I like the heavier Van Halen stuff. And Entombed, Wolverine Blues. They put it out Wolverine Blues, Death and Roll. I like that old-time Death and Roll. You know, the type of music that just soothes your soul or swallows your soul. But Death and Roll was great. It was a great genre back then, and people didn't like it because a lot of the death metal bands kind of got a little lighter. To Ride, Shoot Straight, and Speak the Truth is a great Entombed, but Left Hand Path is a clinical lesson in how to put out a death metal album. And when you get to Left Hand Path and that Phantasm music comes on, it's like seeing your mom or your wife and I'm already at full salute, and now I'm gonna just go everywhere. It's gonna be raindrops falling on your head. It's so magical. It's beautiful in its aggressiveness. Entombed Left Hand Path. You don't own that, don't talk to me. Get away from me. Well, shut this off right now. Number 2, another Blue album. Morbid Angel, Blessed of the Sick. And I love Morbid Angel Covenant when Beavis and Butthead were making fun of it. Great. I love everything Morbid Angel except that disgusting, sickening techno album. And then Danzig, Black Acid Devil, Danzig 5 said, Hold My Beer. Let's see who could put out the worst album. Maybe that came out first. I don't care. What I'm saying is I love Blessed of the Sick. That's another just underproduced, raw, beautiful for the real ones. You gotta have that in your collection. You gotta have that. And if you don't have that in your collection, there's something wrong with you. Go out to the woods, get some acorns, fling them at your nuts 12 or 17 times, and reassess yourself as a human being. Number one, I'm flying through this list because I got stuff to do. Number 1, the greatest death metal band of all time. When people debate that, don't debate that. There's one band where every song, every album, every riff, everything was perfect. Every note, every vocal delivery. Death symbolic, and you could argue the deaths. I get it. People could tell me it's leprosy. People could tell me it's scream bloody, whatever you want to say. That's symbolic, though, is when you took death metal and you took it and you pushed it to technical limits that some of the greats have done, like a Carcass and stuff like that. But Death made it so perfect. I wore that cassette out back in the day, and when that album came out, I wore the cassette out. I got the CD. I'm lucky enough to have one of the first pressings of the vinyl and everything, and I will hold on to that. I'll live in the street before I sell that album. Crystal Mountain, that song. I used to grab a Crystal Pepsi. I used to grab a girl named Crystal. We'd go back down by the river, and we'd do stuff we're not going to talk about, and we'd listen to that album on repeat. That Symbolic showed you how far you could take death metal, and you can make it aggressive still. Some people can't listen to any death metal. They just don't get it, which is fine. Maybe they're listening to Garbage. I don't know. Garbage was a good band, though. I wasn't just saying your band is garbage. The band Garbage is a good band. Death Symbolic is peak to me. I don't think you can make a better death metal album for the rest of our lives, for the rest of the universe. Whatever's going on in this world, whatever dimension we live in now, it's psychotic, it's crazy. These bands were at the forefront. That was for the real. Now it's a commercial thing, right? They pumped out those albums like crazy. That's everywhere. They got the tribute bands touring, which good for you for getting to see them. But without Chuck, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I got to give it a listen live. Maybe it's just something, and I get it. I think it's great. I think it's actually personally great. People disagree with me that they're out there doing that. I think it's great Pantera's out there as a tribute band because some people weren't around back then. They didn't get to see these bands in their heyday. It's nice for the youth to get to see stuff. You want to always stay young, too. You want to stay young. You want to be out there in the scene. You want to have a jolly good time. You tell me your 5 death metal albums. You let me know what they are. I need to know what they are at all times. We'll sit there, we'll talk about it. We'll sing songs together by the seaside. Let's talk about death metal. What are your top 5? What's your number 1? There's no wrong answer. Till next time.